Welcome everyone to day 60 of our third session this year, Deepening the Silence. My name is Julia. I'm really happy to be joining you again for this meditation and for continuing our journey into the theme of transformation. I really need a foot soak today, so I hope you are ready to do that with me in a little bit. If not, please take the time now to prepare your foot soak bucket with salt and water, and we can keep that aside until we begin the meditation. So if you are new or missed a class, welcome. We're really happy to have you here joining us. And if, again, you missed any session, we have all of the information online on the website, so you can access the resources to see anything or watch anything that you missed. And we'll have one-on-one help after the session, this meditation this evening in the breakout rooms. So you can always request more information then, or of course, request a mentor. So happy to be here. Sunday's topic was small victories. So that's always something to celebrate. And today we will dive into the topic of not reacting. Hard to do sometimes, but meditation makes it a little bit easier each day. So for today's session, we're going to have the foot soak and we'll listen to a speech of Shri Mataji. And then we'll continue after the initial meditation and speech with music and another meditation. And that meditation will be some guided sharing and a chance to go deeper into the silence. And then, of course, we'll follow it up at the end with presenter sharing. So today we're joined by Neil and Angela, so I'll have them join us to introduce themselves. And I see Angela, and I think there's Neil. There we go. So, hi Neil. So maybe, Neil, you can share a little bit about Bansuri. You've joined us in the past, and it's always a pleasure. So anything you'd like to share with us today?
Yeah, I play the bansuri. I picked up this beautiful instrument around 14 years ago, and find it really helps deepen my meditation, helps clear my chakras, and just overall, it kind of complements my meditation, makes my life a lot more enjoyable. So I'm going to play a raga today called Rag Multani, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks.
We're ready for the peace and the bliss of your music later, so you'll definitely enjoy it. And Angela, so lovely to see you. Maybe you can share also something. I know you've joined us in the past and you're an excellent musician. So anything you'd like to share.
Hello, everyone. Super happy to be here again. Looking forward to this topic that is so important in Sahaja Yoga. And I will join you for the Q&A at the end.
Wonderful. And then, as I said, my name's Julia. I'm coming to you from Seattle. It's sunny today, so I think it will be a really lovely time together. And this is one of my favorite topics of not reacting, so we'll see what we all learn together. So thanks, everyone. And now we'll begin our meditation and a little bit of a chat on what is not reacting and why does it matter. So in Sahaj, I think we've talked quite a lot on this session in the best possible way about transformation. And hopefully all of you have had a chance to experience or will experience how this Kundalini, when it rises, brings us into this state of silence, where we're able to go beyond our thoughts, our emotions, and our reactions. And a lot of times when we start to react, what does that actually mean? Why is that something we might consider a hindrance to our meditation? So a lot of times the reactions come from when we feel, whether it's in our emotions, whether it's from our mind, that something doesn't quite feel good, right? Doesn't quite add up. Maybe someone is saying something and it makes us upset. Or maybe we're in a conversation with our families or friends and we don't agree with the topic, whether it's politics, whether it's you name it, right? Reactions are something that happen momentarily, spontaneously. And when we allow them to control how we feel or how we respond, it takes us away from our spirit. So when the Kundalini rises, we have the chance to clear out the sixth energy center, the Agya chakra, so that we can just watch, we can witness and see, okay, I observe everything around me. I can see that I don't agree with it, but that doesn't mean I have to be upset. That doesn't mean I need to become aggressive or even passive aggressive. The meditation allows us to just take a step back and feel that state of silence where, okay, how can I respond in a way that is pleasing to myself and to this other person? How can I respond in a way that doesn't make me feel bad or doesn't make the other person feel bad? How can I respond so that my reactions don't cause an argument or that I don't rise to the occasion where someone else is telling me something I disagree with, and I don't try to prove them wrong, right? We can have a conversation where we're on equal grounds without it being something that takes us out of balance. So rather than continuing to just keep talking, I think we'll use this foot soak as a chance to begin to watch our reactions, take a chance in our meditation to allow this energy to rise, to help clear any imbalances which take us away from our peace, from our silence, from our spirit. So I hope you all have your foot soak bucket ready. And we'll get into more specifics of experiences, of course, with reacting and how it relates to Sahaj in the presenter sharing. But if you have any questions or whatnot, again, you can always message in the chat and we can dive into that in a bit. So let's all get ready with our foot soak. We can take off our socks if we have them and raise our hands. And what we'll begin with is just closing our eyes for a few moments, bringing our hands onto our lap with our palms facing up. And we've all had quite a busy day, so let's take a few moments to just relax in the moment. We can take a few slow, deep breaths at our own pace. Allowing all the stresses of the day to relax and to dissipate. And we'll feel thankful for this chance to meditate together. To allow the reactions to dissipate. And for us to touch in that space of silence. So let's raise our Kundalini together and give ourselves a bandhan. And we'll give the vibrations to the foot soak by rotating our hand in a clockwise manner, allowing this energy to flow into the water and the salt so that it can absorb any imbalances from our day. So let's put our feet in the bucket. And again, settling back into our meditation. We can place both hands towards the earth. And we'll ask the Mother Kundalini to please rise within us and to please nourish our energy centers so that all the imbalances from the day will go into the foot soak water. We've had a very busy day, or an active day, an emotional day, even a joyful day. We just ask the foot soak to remove all imbalances, keeping us from our meditation. Bringing our hands back onto our lap with our palms facing up. Let's take a moment to see, how am I feeling inside right now? So to help clear any of the mental activity from our day, let's take the right hand and place it across the Agya chakra, the forehead. I let go of all mental activity. I let go of all of my thoughts. I let go of my reactions. Because I want to feel the silence of my spirit. By clearing the sixth energy center, we take a step back from our thoughts. And we begin to watch ourselves. Why am I feeling this way? Why am I thinking about something that's bothering me? Why am I doubting myself? So as we watch what's going on inside, we ask Mother Kundalini to help us detach from these responses, mental responses, to help us see the truth. To forgive ourselves. So let's shake off our hand towards the water, and let's give a bandhan, or give vibrations in a circular motion at the sixth energy center. Clearing out all tension, all fatigue from our mind. And we put this towards the water. Bringing our hand back onto our lap. without effort. Let us watch, where is my attention? Let's bring it a little bit higher, above the seventh energy center. And as we again relax our breath, we have this desire inside. I want to know what is truth. I don't want to be controlled by my reactions or my emotions. I let go of all guilt and all anger, any bad feelings towards myself. It can all be removed into this foot soak. Because when we rise beyond these feelings or reactions, we find the joy of our spirit. So to help reduce the pressure within the sixth energy center, let's place the right hand in the front of the head and the left hand on the back of the head. And we'll just press a little bit, so there's a bit of a squeeze. And we allow all of the tension in the Agya chakra to be removed. We shake off our hands. And we place our hands on the left and right side, the ego and the superego, like we talked about. And we just, again, squeeze a little bit with a bit of pressure or a gentle massage to allow any tension to be removed, any heat to escape. We put it towards the foot soak. We'll do this again. Put the hand on the forehead and behind the head. And with a bit of pressure, let's press. Not too hard. Allowing any tension to go away. We'll shake off our hand. To help us go beyond our mental activity, we've spoken about forgiving. And there's a really wonderful mantra for the sixth energy center, which will help us to allow this Agya chakra to expand and not be so tight, to allow the thoughts to reduce and for more and more energy to rise. So we can say the mantra for the Agya chakra to Shri Jesus Mary, who we know as a great teacher to help us go beyond our reactions and to really experience the truth of forgiveness. So the mantra goes, Om Tvameva Sakshat, Shri Jesus Mary Sakshat, Shri Adi Shakti Mataji, Shri Nirmala Devi, Namo Namaha. And if you are new to mantras, you can just listen. Or if you would like, you can follow the words and we can say it together. So let's massage the sixth energy center with our eyes closed as we say the mantra together. Om Tvameva Sakshat, Shri Jesus Mary Sakshat, Shri Adi Shakti Mataji, Shri Nirmala Devi, Namo Namaha. Let's shake off our hand and see if we can feel a deeper silence growing inside of us. If something is disturbing us, we just watch it, we acknowledge it, and we can choose to let it go for this time, for our meditation. And we pray inside that this Mother Kundalini energy rise stronger and take us into the seventh energy center. So let's take our right hand and massage the Sahasrara chakra at the top of our head. And we'll rotate the hand 7 times gently, allowing our attention to go beyond our thoughts. And the beauty of the meditation is that just by entering this state of silence, even for a few moments each day, we can watch how we become more quiet inside, more calm, more peaceful. And that things that would bother us previously don't bother us as much. We don't get as angry as easily or as frustrated. We learn to let these things go, just like we let our thoughts go. So let's raise our hand a few inches above the top of the head and see if we can feel this energy flowing, feeling this connection as we're transformed into more subtle beings. We can try with our left hand. And let's take 2 more moments to just sit silently in our foot soak. Allowing us to go deeper into this meditation. So let's just shake off any remaining imbalances or stuff from the day and just let it go into the foot soak. And we can now just rinse our feet with the clean water and dry our feet. And we can set aside the foot soak. We'll empty it later on in the session. And now we'll take some time to enjoy listening to a speech by Shri Mataji. And as we listen to, as Shri Mataji explains a bit more about our reactions, we'll again continue to watch in that state of meditation beyond our thoughts and see if we can feel that deeper connection inside. Thanks for meditating with me.
The mind about which we speak and depend upon is a myth. There's nothing like mind. Brain is reality, not the mind. Mind is created by us reacting to outside. Either we react to conditionings or to our ego. Thus this mind is created like bubbles on the ocean of reality. But that's not reality. With this mind, whatever we decide, we know is very limited, elusive, and sometimes shocking. The mind always moves in a linear direction. And because there's no reality in it, it recoils and boomerangs. Thus, all the enterprises, all the projections so far we have done, it seems come back to us. Whatever they discover comes back to us as a big destructive power or a very big shock. So one has to decide what to do, how to be out of this trap of our mind. Kundalini is the solution. When she is awakened, she takes you. With that awakening, she takes you beyond your mind. The first thing is to go beyond your mind. With mind, you will do many things, but it will not be satisfying. It will be not a solution. It will not help. And when we start depending too much on our mind, we develop all kinds of physical, mental, emotional problems. Now the latest is the stress. Stress, and the stress has no solution, they say. But in Sahaja Yoga, we find the solution by crossing over this mind. It's like a barrier for our advancement. So, when you get your realization, you must understand that your Kundalini has taken your attention beyond the mind. Now, this reaction to outside has come because we human beings have a prism-like brain, or we can say prism-like skull. And when the energy passes into it, I would explain it in my books, it goes into bifurcations, or you can say refractions, by which our attention goes out and we react. If we react too much, then these bubbles create a very horrible mind which can lead to any kind of thing. It justifies itself, it pampers your ego. The ego and the conditioning that creates this mind start using and this mind for the purpose of their fulfillment of their all the accumulation of ideas and thoughts which has no backing, which has no reality with it. It's like we make the computer. Ultimately, we become slaves of the computer. We make the watches ourselves, and then we become slaves of the watches. That's how it dominates human beings. And when a person who has a very strong mind decides to destroy like Hitler did with some idea, he can go on destroying, which has a very far-fetched effect on our culture, on our spirituality. Now the first step is to become thoughtlessly aware, where you cross your mind. You go above your mind. Mind cannot affect you. This is the first stage, as we call it, thoughtless awareness. Second one is where you start seeing the working of this Parama Chaitanya, of this all-pervading power, and you start becoming aware that there is a lot of truth in what Mataji says, that there is this power which works out many things. It works miraculously so many things for you. It gives you blessings, it guides you, it helps you. In so many ways it helps you. It gives you good health, good wealth, and also a very good society of very beautiful people in the collective. All that you can see clearly is happening here. Now this happening of achieving thoughtless awareness is very simple and easy. But to maintain at that point is difficult. We still react and we think.
Let's try to stay in that state of meditation. So let's stay in silent meditation. We can just keep our attention at the top of the head. We can just watch our attention. Try not to react to any of the thoughts as they come and go. Again, we can watch our attention. don't get involved with any thoughts. Just let them go by. If we're having any problems with our thoughts, we can just say, not this thought. And keep our attention at the top of the head. Let's try and stay in this state for a couple more minutes. Just try to enjoy the peace, being in the present moment. Now when we're ready, we can slowly raise our Kundalini and take a bend down.
Thank you, Neil, for the silent meditation and the beautiful flute music. it seemed to elevate us beyond into that state of peace. So that was really beautiful. I enjoyed that a lot. I hope all of you did too. So we'll have a few announcements before we get to our presenter sharing. And of course, we have our course schedule. So we'll continue for this week, the session 3, Deepening the Silence, on Thursday, Sunday, and the last session of this third session is on next Tuesday. And then we'll take a 3-week break and begin session 4 on July 11th. And so we'll have that session 4 of 21 days for 4 weeks, and it'll focus on Joy of the Spirit. So we hope you can join us again for the last week of this session, and then in 3 weeks after, join us for the next one. Please feel free to invite anyone who you think might be interested. And we have our supplemental foot soaks Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8:45 New York time. So those are always wonderful, and we hope you enjoy meditating together with those. Our next session will be focusing on being in Sasra. That's like the goal. So it'll be wonderful to understand that a little bit deeper and to really touch on this 7th energy center. How do we get there and how do we stay there during the day in meditation? For program resources, you can always request a mentor. So for additional support, we have a huge community on our WhatsApp group, and feel free to scan the QR code for additional sessions and handouts. If you have any personal questions or would like to review anything we've touched on so far, type in the chat, breakout room help. And of course, if you have a question that you want us to go over during our presenter sharing, write chat Q&A, or you can, of course, write to me. So I'd like to invite Neil, and I'd like to, yes, our presenters to join us, Angela and Neil, and we can begin. Hi, Angela.
Hi, Julia, you forgot my name.
I did for 2 seconds. How terrible is that? I hope you forgive me.
Very terrible.
Well,
That is because after Neil's music, we are in such a state that we cannot react.
True,
or
we
think,
were
right?
beyond.
We were beyond, yes.
That's too funny. Well, you're gracious enough to forgive me. So,
Of course, I'm just kidding.
great. So we'll see if anyone has a direct question, but we can start with maybe one question that I have for all of us. So Angela, maybe you can share first. For your own understanding and your own point of view from your practice in Sahaja Yoga, what does it mean to not react?
Such a difficult thing to do. Because in reality, our society, education, everything that is related to us, it teaches us to react, right? We are focused much more on the result instead of the process. We want immediate results, right? Immediate answers. So it's very difficult to achieve. And I would say that it requires a lot of introspection as well as practice. So for me, not reacting is a skill, just like playing the flute or doing any other thing. So the best thing to achieve that probably is to go there, out to society, being with others, be exposed to different situations to see what is going on, to see how our ego reacts, how our superego reacts. And I always remember a beautiful phrase from Shri Mataji, or a beautiful thought, or a beautiful message. She said something like, we have to think with our heart and feel with our brain.
That's
So
beautiful.
if we just look at this, it's beautiful because it's like a reversed thing that we are used to hear and to practice, right? Just to think with our heart and to feel with our brain. And I think that is the foundation or the base of many things that happen in Sahaja Yoga, right? And we are trying to achieve. And one of those is the non-reactive attitude.
That's so true. It's a continuous practice, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah. It's not easy because when we wake up in the morning, if it's raining, immediately we react. Oh, it's raining. I have to go out. I have to go to work. And then we take the coffee, and the coffee is cold because of the weather, and then we react. And then we get stuck in the traffic, and obviously we react. And then it just goes like that. And then at the end of the day, if you reacted a lot during the day, you are tired, exhausted
So
mentally,
tired.
physically, emotionally. And then you are like, why am I so tired? Well, because you have been reacting the whole day.
That's so true. How about for you, Neil? From your understanding and your experience with Sahaja Yoga, what does it mean to you not to react?
Yeah, I would say it's like it's easy and it's hard because it's easy because it's something that you don't do, and but it's hard because sometimes you're just kind of emotionally involved in whatever it is, and you want the best, or you want your opinion of what you think should happen to work out, and then it doesn't, and then it's a kind of vicious cycle. But if you stay in the state of meditation and you are in the state of forgiveness, then automatically you don't react as much. And another way to also deal with being reactive is to just think like, what is the point of me? Is there anything going to come out of me shouting at this person or reacting negatively to something? And usually we after we've done something like that, then we look back and we say like, why did we do that? Like, what's the really point? Nothing good came out of it. So once you kind of get yourself into the position where you're kind of thinking like, is there any point in reacting to this? Then that helps, and of course the meditation, automatically becomes like spontaneous that you don't react.
I like that. It's sort of like a gut check
Yeah,
where
yeah,
you take a step back for a moment and see, okay, if I say this, what's going to be the benefit? What's the
yeah,
point?
yeah,
That's a
exactly.
nice way, a practical way to look at it too. Like, in the meditation, we have that transformation through our own introspection. And by consciously looking sometimes, how will this help? That gets us beyond just immediately attacking. So for me, not reacting, it's sort of interesting because I think actually for all three of us, we're relatively gentle people and maybe aren't the most aggressive to begin with. So what I always thought reacting meant was like we've been talking about being argumentative, being combative, being aggressive, being angry, and sort of allowing the ego or the ego to control our how we respond to the outside world. And it was interesting because my tendency is to be more quiet. I don't typically share how I'm feeling, even if I'm upset. And what I was thinking about when I was meditating on this topic is that's also reaction, to be silent and to not share and to be a little bit more, you would say, passive aggressive. That comes from the superego, which we've learned a bit about. And for in Sahaj, the meditation and allowing this energy to spontaneously rise, to take us beyond our immediate impulses, to go from, like you were saying, how can I look at this from a higher perspective, from the perspective of my spirit? It gives us a chance to have a better interaction or outcome. So it was just a fascinating, like there's so much you can talk about on this topic. So maybe as we continue to talk, we can share some personal stories or situations where Sahaja Yoga helped us not react or react in a way that was maybe more appropriate. So who would like to go first?
Neil.
Neil it is.
Sure. I mean, I think for me, like, I live in California, so driving is, a big part of everyday life. So one way which I just kind of get out of the hustle and bustle of driving and getting to places, I just drive a lot slower, and it's actually a lot. It's almost a bit more therapeutic because you just see everybody just blazing past you, and you're just like nice and calm, and it kind of like helps you to relax as you're driving. And then also when somebody like cuts you off, or like maybe you accidentally cut them off and they're angry with you, then I make it a habit just to forgive them. Like out loud, I just say, I forgive you. And just having that practice kind of helps a lot, because usually you'd react in the next situation and you'll get really angry, and like, why did the person do this, and these people are so silly in this state, and and all you're doing is you're just generating negativity in you, and the other person is just gone. So like, again, like, look at the big picture. What's the point? What are you really achieving? Because in some cases it's something negative against you. If you're always reacting, then you're causing that negativity in you, that heat and tension. So yeah, I think that's my personal experience. I have a pretty calm life. Like, my job is, I don't have a stressful job or anything, but that's the first thing which occurs to me. Like, when I drive, then kind of make it a habit to forgive and not react.
I was like that in Seattle. Everyone drives extremely slow. It's the opposite in some ways of California. Everyone's super mellow. And I came from the East Coast, where it's like, okay, you have the lane to go fast and the lane to go slow. Why are the slow people in the fast lane? And I used to get so upset I stopped driving, which was a big reaction, right? Because it limited my mobility. But then at some point we timed it to be like, okay, if you're driving so fast, how much faster are you actually getting there?
Yeah,
It's like
you're saving
nothing.
2 minutes.
So it's also that of like, okay, let's go to reality. What is it? That was just funny how you said driving, because it's such a big part of our life in America. That made me laugh. How about you, Angela? What would you like to share with the story?
Well, Julia, I was also thinking about the inner reactions that we have. Exactly the same thing that you said, and I think for me, I noticed that quite a lot in my life, no, especially in the past. I think Sahaja Yoga has helped me to express my opinions sometimes when I am not, and that is such a relief, because it really, you can create so many reactions, accumulation of reactions, and then at the end is bad, because you can explode, and it's even the worst. So I think in my case, it's mostly this inner reaction that I accumulate that is hurting me, and then when you express your point of view or say something, is a relief. So in a way, it's just trying to be able to verbalize things and just interact with others and be again in the middle of society, trying to mix with everybody, being in different situations. Because, well, yeah, that is how Sahaja Yoga has helped me with reactions.
Oh, that's nice. And it's actually timely, because we got a message from, is it Anike? And they were asking from the chat, what if you don't react and the person with you is asking for your reaction? What would you do then, because you don't want to get involved? So what do you two have to offer in terms of advice to that?
Well, if the other person wants to see the reaction, the best. Well, Shri Mataji mentions a lot this word, no, witness, state, or this expression, and it's just just observing without reacting, and it's a fun thing, because you are just looking, but you are not involved in the situation. So I don't know, maybe I need help.
Yeah, I think that's right. Because even if we talk about being in this state of meditation, we're still aware of everything that's going on. We're still able to engage with the outside world. We're not in a state where we're not able to function, right? And that's the trick of how do we stay in this higher awareness where we're aware of everything, right? If someone's upset with us or wanting us to get involved or engaged or to respond in a certain way, how do we do this from not our emotions, not our ego or our superego, but from this higher plane of we're in the silence and we know what is truth, right? What is reality? What is going to be pleasing? And what I found that, like you were saying, we witness or we watch, right, Angela? And it's this moment of silence we give ourselves to say, okay, I can see this as a tense situation. How can I say this in a way where I'm sharing what is true to me, but it won't escalate this to a worse situation, or it won't go from a mental level where I'm arguing. But maybe there's a way where, what can I say so that this person will understand what I'm trying to communicate in a way that will be pleasing to their spirit? I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
What do you think, Neil?
Yeah, that's definitely my perspective as well. Like you have to kind of step back and think a bit about how you got to use your Vishuddhi as well, and think about how you can communicate in such a way that gets a point across, but at the same time doesn't cause a reaction in them. And it's something which you have to kind of practice and eventually get good at.
Yeah, because the goal is to express ourselves in terms of love, right?
Yeah.
Really what Sahaja Yoga is about. And so how do we go beyond just our initial gut reaction, which might not be pleasing to whether it's our heart or someone else's heart? But how do we stand firm to be strong in ourselves, to be honest, to be communicative, but in a sweet and loving way, so that they can hear us? We can stand up for ourselves, but again, not in a way that goes towards someone's negative reaction. So that's a great question. I hope that helps a little bit. So maybe, Angela, maybe you can share what are some tips or tricks or best practices that help you the most in growing in your ability not to react?
I think I already mentioned that for me, introspection and practice, because it's really a skill that only when we are in a situation we are going to know how to react or what to say. So we should be in the situation to see what is our state. So it's a skill that we will eventually get better day by day. And also, in the beginning of the program, I read Shri Mataji's phrase, and she was mentioning something about a play. When you go to a play, life is like a play, right? When you go to a play, you are the spectator, and you are seeing the actors, or it could be a concert, you are seeing the musicians on the stage. How about if you are that actor, or if you are that musician? It's very interesting, no? When you see yourself as a third person, and then you see yourself far from yourself. So that helps. And it's a good exercise. Good exercise. And obviously, supported by the meditation, because at the end, our Mother Kundalini is the one who does it all.
It is true. The analogy of taking a moment and seeing life as a play or as a concert. How can we keep trying, keep improving, keep growing? That's beautiful. What do you think, Neil? What are some of your tips or tricks?
I would say, like, for example, it depends what part of the situation you're in. If you're like, kind of, if you have the option of not being in the situation because you know that, there's going to be some kind of conflict or something and you're not really going to be able to affect that situation positively, then, and you have the choice, you either go in the situation or not, then, obviously avoid it. So it's kind of like you you use your aggie, you use your brain, to compute things, and then if you have to go in a situation, then use your vishuddhi to interact with it to affect it positively, so that there's no reaction from the other side. So you kind of have to be in this state of witness state, which is a quality of vishuddhi, and that helps a lot, because you might not even need to get into the situation at all. And if you are, then the way that you speak, the way you communicate, you do that in such a way to not get a reaction from the other side. So
Yeah, it's interesting because like you were saying, Angela, everyone's trained to react in every moment of every day, whether it's through what we learn at school or how we communicate with family or just society and culture. And so we do have to engage in the day-to-day, whether it's at work or whether it's with our social group. And in Sahaj, what I found is that there's a way where we can take a moment for ourselves to be aware of how we're reacting with our environment. And so in this state of meditation, the Kundalini helps to support and nourish us so that we can take a moment or take a breath to see, okay, what is the situation? How do I want to engage, like Neil was saying? And then try, right? Try our best to communicate. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it's all smooth and great. Sometimes it's a disaster and it explodes. And then we feel bad about it. And in our meditation, we can't stop thinking about it. And like Angela was saying, for introspection, within our meditation, if something's disturbing us, if maybe we spoke up and it became something that was misunderstood as aggressive, or if we said something that was maybe became an argument, okay, maybe I need to take a moment to see, why did that happen? And in my meditation, what do I need to do so that I don't need to keep thinking about this? Or what do I need to do to change this so that it can be resolved? And so a lot of the times, maybe the first try isn't great, but we circle back, right? We go back to that person and say, hey, I'm feeling this way. I'm feeling bad if this is something that you felt that way, or I wanted to verify and check in and see if we're okay. And usually by having that open communication, that honesty, that love, that caring, it allows us to understand and to listen to another person and to go beyond those initial reactions so we can get to what is the heart of the matter and what is the truth. So I know another thing that people think in meditation, it's really common to just think, okay, don't react at all. Don't engage, just be chill. And Sahaj isn't, of course we want to be calm and peaceful and happy and all these wonderful things. But there is, Shri Mataji says, you have to speak lovingly, but you have to speak the truth. You have to know what is right and you have to stand firm for it. So in the meditation, what I find a way to help grow in my ability not to react is to really try to get inside what is going to be best for me, what is going to be best for others, and how can I show what I want to express in a way that's meaningful, that's caring, that's loving. Because when we all have the best intentions and we know this, we can usually come to a compromise.
yeah.
Those are my 2 thoughts. What about with families or with difficult colleagues? Do you have any suggestions or experiences you could
Oh,
share
yes,
about
yes, all the
how
time,
to, yeah.
all the time, all the time. Especially with colleagues. Last week I had a misunderstanding with one of my colleagues. We were planning an event and we both were trying to to prove our point and to try to I am right. But the thing is that we both were reacting inside, and it was even worse. So it reached the point that it was even difficult to talk about what we were planning. And then I just have to say to myself, Angela, what are you doing? Look at yourself in the mirror and see this is the best way to do it. Sometimes you have to talk to yourself a little bit firm, right? Instead of talking to others, just say, well, this is not the best way to do it. You are learning all these things in the meditation, in Sahaja Yoga, so now is the time to practice. And it was incredible because when I took that attitude, this approach, everything improved. And actually, I realized why I am wasting my time. We were planning a multicultural festival, beautiful, bringing different cultures together. It was amazing. And then I was upset. Instead of seeing the big picture of the whole thing, we are getting people together, we are trying to be collective. And then when I just took that approach of talking to myself, looking at myself in the mirror and saying, just try to change your attitude, it improved. So it was actually not my colleague, it was mostly me, but it was a good lesson because, that happens in a daily life, little things here and there. So it's better to look at ourselves first and then see maybe somebody's doing something, but first look at yourself.
Yeah, that's great advice. I mean, really. It's easy to blame others, but to look in the mirror and to see, okay, why am I getting so upset?
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah, I think also you have to, get down to the heart of the matter sometimes. Like sometimes, like when you're dealing with somebody or other people, and there's a big problem, then people are saying, well, it's because of this and it's because of that, and there's all these, things surrounding the situation which are symptoms of the problem, but they're not really the heart of the problem. So if you get to the heart of the matter and you start a polite, conversation, out of love and concern about it, then it's a much more effective way of dealing with the situation. And you don't have to react about it. You're just, having a mature discussion, and solving the problem, in a mature way.
Yeah, it makes it flow
Yeah.
where you can move forward. And it is very Sahaja or spontaneous that when we're able to take a step back and do this in a loving, compassionate way, we really can, like, it gives the chance for this energy to work and to act. And sometimes we don't have to solve the problem because when we let go of it and when we have the desire for it to work out nicely, then this energy can nourish and support and sustain and help take away any blockages to a successful resolution. So one thing that helps me when I don't know what to do and I'm frustrated and just can't figure out how to move forward is in my meditation, I'll give, and I think we've talked about it in previous sessions, I'll give a bandhan. So like how we give energy when we start and end the meditation to around us, we can also write down in our hand any problem that we have. So if I'm struggling with a colleague or a family member or a friend, or I'm worried about something that's going on in the world, I can write it down on my hand in my meditation, and I'll give this energy, asking this energy to help remove any obstacles or any negativity or problems that are preventing this from being resolved. And that helps me to detach a little bit from the situation and offer that love and compassion of this energy to the situation. And then in my meditation, it gives me peace. And a lot of times when I try it, I notice, like Angela was saying, it helps resolve it pretty quickly. Not always, but there's a lot of situations where within a week or two, I'll give it a bandhan in my meditation a few times. and things will just magically transform. So I suggest or recommend you trying that in your meditation, just to see as an experiment if that would work and do wonders. I think that's all I have for my questions. Is there anything else that either of you would like to share? It was such a lovely conversation. I think it was nice to hear the different.
I think just most of all, the central thing is the meditation, and the Kundalini is what makes all of this possible, all of this state of not reacting and being able to communicate properly and solve problems. It brings us into the center, brings us into balance, and because of that, we're able to react or not react, in the right way. So, yeah, my main advice is just to keep meditating. Discipline
I agree.
yourself,
I agree.
twice a day at
think-
least.
And everything
will be great.
And I think the key is going beyond the mind, like Shri Mataji said in the talk. And that is only possible thanks to our Mother Kundalini, that will take us beyond our mind, beyond all the reactions.
So true. Well, thank you, Angela. Thank you, Neil, for
Thank you.
sharing your experiences. It was so lovely to chat and meditate. And Neil, again, your flute was beautiful. So
Thank you. Always a pleasure. Thanks.
perfect. Well, thank you everyone for joining us this session. We hope you had a wonderful time meditating with us, and we look forward to seeing you again in our next session on Thursday. So if you'd like to continue meditating, we'll have some music, but I hope you have a really lovely rest of your day.